Hey Food Slayers, it's Michelle here from foodslaying.com, and happy Thanksgiving week. There's a lot to be grateful for. This is the season of being grateful. I know it's been a tough year for a lot of us, a tough year for farmers, a tough year for everyone who is growing and producing food for their local communities. So my heart goes out to you. Just thank you to everyone. Thank you to all the people who are, purchasing clean, healthy food from local farmers. That is a really exciting part of all of this pandemonium that we've been experiencing this year. But this week, I'm doing this video because the governor of New Mexico, Michelle Grisham, has declared that she's mandating that 12 grocery stores close in the Albuquerque, New Mexico area for 2 weeks. Okay, so that is unbelievable to me, that you can close grocery stores anywhere, for 2 weeks. What are people supposed to do? I mean, the impact that that's going to have on people in rural communities, low-income communities, is really could be devastating, because we're talking about food security here, right? We all have to eat several times a day. If the governor in your state told you that 12 grocery stores in your community were going to close, what would you do? What would you do? What do you do? How is this even like a thing? But it is concerning, and it is something that I think we all need to be paying attention to. Food security is a real issue, and that's why I continue to do this podcast and talk about it and make these videos and make podcast episodes, because it's really important. Food security is a real thing. It impacts all of us at the end of the day. It's the holidays, and where are people supposed to shop for food? If grocery stores are closing, what that's going to, perpetuate are these kind of, hoarding of food items. It's going to make it really difficult for people to, find what they need to feed their families. And it's the holidays. So, let me know what you think about that in the comments below, because I'm appalled. I'm absolutely appalled by that. And I think if I lived in New Mexico, that would be just something that I think the community should really get vocal about. And so I support you, everybody in New Mexico. Talk about it. Write letters. We need our grocery stores open. That's just the bottom line. So that said, this week's episode is going to be about grains. We're going back to grains. We're talking to Bob Klein from Community Grains in Oakland, California, and it is an incredible episode. What Bob Klein is trying to do, and this kind of came to fruition from the episode, if you haven't listened to it, with Dr. David Killilea, where we were talking about whole wheat and whether or not we're actually getting whole wheat in our whole grain products. And the truth in the matter is we are not. And so talking to Bob Klein really kind of highlights what the problem is, but it also, he talks about how he's building a grain economy in Oakland, California, with community, bakers and restaurants. He's a restaurateur. He is a really fascinating guy and has done some great things with Community Grains, tracing the grain from the field to the fork. And I think that that's really important, because that helps with product accountability. It helps with, us as consumers knowing where our food is coming from. And I think that that's a really important thing, especially now, especially with everything that's happening in the food supply chain, all the contamination, all the lies, all the deception. If you listen to this podcast, then we talk about that a lot. And so I hope that you listen in to this week's podcast. It launches on Friday, of course, Black Friday. While you're doing your online shopping, you can listen in to the episode and just hear what he's got to say. It's really fascinating. And support Community Grains and support companies like Community Grains. I absolutely encourage you to do that. So that's really all that I wanted to say in this video. I really, 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 really appreciate you supporting this podcast and supporting the work that I'm doing. Thank you for listening in. Thank you to all of my patrons who continue to support this work. If you'd like to support me and this podcast on Patreon, head on over there to patreon.com/foodslaying. I am going to be changing some of the benefits coming up in January, so just to make it more valuable. What is it that you want? Tell me in the comments below. Let me know. Other than that, you can sign up for the newsletter on foodslaying.com and get exclusive podcast updates so you know when I release a video or a podcast episode or even a bonus episode. If you checked out this week's bonus episode, it's with a couple of millennials, May and West, who actually went through the process of processing their own turkey. So that was really great. And they talk about it in the bonus episode. So head on over to foodslaying.com and check that out. And otherwise, I wish you and your family a happy, healthy Thanksgiving and a holiday season. I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone who has supported me in this work and supported my business this year. Thank you to just a handful of people I want to give a shout out to, Burdell and Karima and Allison and Ben and Heather and Brian and Leroy and Tina and I know I'm forgetting someone, May and West, Brittany. Thank you so much, so much for supporting me. Elliot and Julia, I really appreciate just knowing that you guys want clean, healthy food, and I'm so honored to be able to produce that, and I hope that you enjoy it this Thanksgiving. So to you and your family, have a happy, healthy Thanksgiving. Stay safe, and until next time, remember to eat clean, eat healthy, and love your food, and I'll see you on the other side of the plate. Ciao.